Welcome back, everyone, to Factorio Beginner's Guide with myself, that is Aavak, and, of course, the ever-knowledgeable shenryyr. Say hello, Shen.
Derp, derp, derp.
Yeah, that's pretty much how Shen talks. How have you been? It's been a while.
I've been pretty good, man. I've been playing some KSP 1.1. How are you doing?
I am doing very well indeed. I've been playing an awful lot of Stardew Valley.
I know you have.
Awful lot of Stardew Valley.
It's a good game.
It is a good game. Now, in this episode, we are going to be covering trains. Something a little bit different from the train setup we've currently got. It is, well, in a sense, it's unnecessary, but it's awesome as well. So we're just going to go ahead and set this up. Basically, we're going to have a box signal network. Now, or rather they're called chain signals in Factorio. Effectively, what these mean is they're going to allow multiple trains to operate on the same bit of track without having two lines. The trains are going to intelligently know when they can go and when they can't, so on and so forth. A little bit more so than basic signals. But part of that is going to mean that we're going to have a station with multiple stops in it. Now, this is not something that we've currently done up to now. We've got one single station, and it's got a very specific name. Trains can just go to that station, but what we can do is we can add another station with exactly the same name, and they will be treated as the same station. And trains will pretty much just try to pick the closest one of its platforms for them to get to, which is something I wasn't aware that we could actually have going on in this. Shen was the fellow who notified me of this little development.
Yeah, it helps to read the Factorio Friday Facts. And if you guys...
Indeed it does.
If you guys are signed up on Factorio's website, they have Friday Facts that come out, believe it or not, every Friday. And one of them included this wonderful tidbit that stations with the same name will be counted as the same station. And your trains will just wait for one of those station platforms to be available. And as long as you're using train signals, which is what we're covering today, then you will have your trains smart enough to go to an open platform if there is one available.
Yeah. Now, you may notice that this setup looks a little bit, well, it's a little bit condensed, but it's also a little bit more efficient. I had to shunt everything across because I anticipated that this would be in the way of the system that we're going to want to use. This little pond
the water's
here.
In the way? Oh, come on now.
I know.
The water can't
Terrible.
be in the way.
But now that we've got this, we can place down a train stop, and we should... Oh, there we go. If you want to rename that Awesome Source City, then we will have a train stop that will act effectively as a platform. Now, I'm going to need to bring up some fuel as well, because we're going to have exactly the same type of train running to this area. We're going to want... Now, this is the nice thing about having the train set up like this, is they're effectively just a mirror of the trains that we have down below. So we'll just pop that in there.
Yep, no need to
And
overcomplicate things. Just mirror it, we're good.
Indeed. There we are. And that will load up any train that stops here with fuel, and we'll do exactly the same down here. Now, as I mentioned, this did necessitate a slight redesign of the system, but largely that redesign was there just to allow me to get the space I needed for the trains to be set up, rather than anything complicated.
Nothing sinister.
So you haven't missed anything with me changing that around. We are going to try and avoid cutting out too much of the design process in the future. A couple of people have commented that although it may be something we've covered previously, there is a desire to actually see, or rather be witness to, the trials and tribulations, more or less. When things go wrong, it's interesting for people to see how we overcome those problems, and perhaps just as a warning for someone else who might try to set up their system in a slightly different way, the issues that we ourselves encountered. Now, we are going to want this about there, I would say. We want all of this to come up, and then join up down here, and then we can have this... yeah, we're going to just have this run straight down, I would say. That being said...
That's where this underground went, right?
Yeah, exactly. There we are. I'll make a little splitter just so it evens the tracks just a tad. And then have the underground come down here. There we go. You may need to put... Yeah, there we are. There we go. So that's our little station there. It's all nice and tidy, all tucked in there. And we'll run all of the ore down onto this side. So now we just need the trains. But before we do that, now obviously we're going to have multiple trains running on a single track. This is not necessary in any way. You can get by just having a single track for every train if you want. In much the same way that instead of using trains, you could just belt the ores or what have you from one location to the next. Whereas trains do come into their own over very long distances because they're armored, they're pretty fast as well, this is something that we're effectively doing because we want to, rather than because we need to.
Yeah, they added complexity to the game, so make your game complex. Why leave it simple?
Exactly.
Complex is more fun.
What I'm doing here with the signals, and this is worth repeating, honestly. Signals, when you place them down, they'll put a little arrow on the track, just to show you what direction that signal governs. Now, be aware that a signal makes a track one way. Now that this signal is there, the train on the far side, it will still come through, because I don't believe there's a signal on the other station at the moment. But when it comes through, it's going to hit this signal, and then it's not going to be able to leave, because this signal makes this track a one-way system. Now, because we're going to have a junction over here, I'm going to place down what's called a chain signal. Now, a chain signal works in a slightly different way. The regular signal simply checks, is there anything on the track that I'm adjacent to? So in the case of the signal up here, it's literally checking the track that leads up to the station. If there's nothing in the station, then this is green, and anything pulling up to the signal can go through. The chain signal works slightly differently. As you can see down here, because there's a train in the station, that signal is red, so any train coming along here would stop right in front of this signal. Now, obviously, that train then wouldn't be able to pull out, because there would be a train here, and the chain signal would have turned red, as it has right now. But the nice thing with chain signals is they're a little bit more intelligent, and that's why we're actually building them in this system. This system is going to be able to carry quite a few trains around. Now we're going to place down the train track about, let's go about there, and then we're going to have another one about there as well. Now the reason for this is we need multiple areas where trains are going to be able to pass each other. Now, this junction, you might think, well, that's not really necessary if you've got a train coming up from the bottom and a train coming across from Ironton. You know, there's not much crossover, but we're going to have a lot of iron coming up from the south. So we're going to need more than one train running along this line. So we're going to have a couple of different tracks here. Now, generally, you want your box signals to control entry into a junction area. So, for example, we'll have a train moving up here. We want it to check if there's any available area for it to go. So that track signal there is currently telling us there is an available location for it to pull out. As I mentioned, these signals, the basic signals, they're a bit dumb. They only check the track that's immediately beyond them, but nothing else. So if this was a regular signal, then a train coming up could quite happily pull into this junction and stop there, if we imagine that both stations were occupied. And at that point, it's blocked the exit. It'll just wait there for the stations to evacuate, but the trains in the stations won't be able to leave because there's a train blocking the junction directly out of the station. So you've then got a traffic jam with trains, and traffic jams with trains are much nastier to resolve than they are with cars. So the box signals are a bit more intelligent. Instead of just checking the track beyond it, it checks that there's a way out of the track beyond it. It makes a box. It's why I call them box signals instead of chain signals. What this will do is this will only be green if there's an available station for a train to pull into, or there's nothing on this track. Obviously, there's a train currently on the track, so it's turned red, saying, yeah, you can't go. Don't even think about it. But that's fine. We're going to put a chain signal over here as well. About there should do. And this, likewise, will make this an area where this train coming from Ironton will check for an available station before it does anything else. And because we don't want it to be a one-way track, we're going to put a signal on the opposite side. So now a train can legally go in either direction. If you don't, then as we've got down here, this is a one-way track. A train can only leave this track. It cannot enter this way because there's no signal telling it that it can. Now, the other thing that we need to do is we need to make an exit point on this track. Now, this is going to become our first bypass for the track that's going to be coming up from the south. Now, as we haven't got tracks signals on both sides of this track, this is a one-way track, so trains come in from the left and they leave along the right side of the track. We don't need the exit point to be a chain signal. That can happily be a regular signal, and it will just work. In fact, you don't want to use chain signals everywhere. It just makes the whole setup a little bit more muddy. Now, what Shen is doing here is it looks like he's ending this bypass. So this is just going to be a little place where a train can tuck in and happily wait. So now this track becomes the in point track. So we will place down a regular signal here to show that it's one way. But as this track is leaving and is going to be a part of a junction, we're going to want this to be a chain signal so that it tracks that it's not just that this track is free, but that any train on this track has somewhere valid to leave the track. Otherwise, again, you can end up with a traffic jam. And what we may do towards the end, if you fancy, Shen, we could actually set this up not using the chain signals and just show how messed up that can get.
Oh, goodness. I'm not sure we want to get that messy.
Okay. Maybe. Just for you. Oh, I'll drive that back a little bit just to line it up a little bit better. We've got limited space here. Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, we're running this right through our factory, and this is not necessary, but we had already planned this ahead that we were going to run it here, so we're just going to keep it here. It's all good.
Yeah. And, you know, what is a factory if you don't have the chance of death every now and then?
I did die to a train earlier in this series. It wasn't recorded, though. Very sad.
Alas, I was very sad that it wasn't recorded. We need these sorts of safety videos just to show.
Oh, do we need that? Orange suits and a hard hat?
Yeah, why not? Right, okay, so the thing with the bypass is you don't want to make them too long. Like, this whole section of track is currently being checked by this chain signal. We want a bypass every so often so that any train coming along can just get out of the way, and then you'll have free-flowing trains. Otherwise, any train leaving the station that we're building to the south would have to go along the entire track before a train that had reached Awesome Source City could leave Awesome Source City. And that is not how we want to set that up. That would take way too long for the trains to move around. So what we're going to do here is, well, let's see if I can get that in the right spot. Well, actually, we can drive that a little bit further along. Let me do that. There we go. Try and make the best use of the space that we can. We want enough room so that the trains that we use have got room enough to park in there. So we will make this the exit point on this side of the track. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more chain signals. There we go. So we'll have a chain signal. Oh, that's another thing. You can actually use the signals on the diagonals if you want to.
Oh, you're going to go over on the other track. You had the left side track.
Oh,
as the upward track. Now down here.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we should actually keep it going that way, just for convenience sake. Now, if we set that up there we go. Even though the signals are actually quite close together, they will work fine.
I'll move it over
and on the diagonals and so on and so forth. So you want to place that in. Now that chain signal was flashing to let us know that the track was not valid because this was all a part of the same track. You see the way it's flashing? It's because this part is still part of that block. In fact, that block runs all the way back around to itself. So it's like, I don't know what to do. What do you expect from me?
If you had a train there, it would be flashing no path, no path, no path.
Yes. Now again, you want the exit point to have the chain signal and the input point to have the regular signal, and that will all work fine. There we go. So that's all right. So that's another little bypass that we've got, and we're just going to continue building these along until we get to the south base.
And the general idea for these bypasses is because we're going to have multiple trains on this track, they need a place to pass each other. That's all it is. Yes. They just need a place to pass.
Exactly. Now, the way that we're going to be heading down here, how are we going to run this? We could just follow the power poles.
Yep.
More or less. We could just have, in fact, we could even have it split off there and have another bypass around that area. I'm going to go and pick up some more tracks. It looks like our biter bases have started to regroup as well, which is a little bit of a concern. They have recovered a lot faster than I was expecting.
They're just, you know, they're fighting for the home team. They put in some extra effort.
I see. You know what? I fancy that you might be a tiny bit quiet compared to the game, because this music track is a little bit loud. So I'm going to drop the music volume just a tad. There we go. We don't want Shen's beautiful dulcet tones to be overpowered with the game. No.
I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but you can actually lay track while you're riding a train. Just
yes, you
slow
can.
heads up. You can do it totally Looney Tunes. You can be riding in the locomotive and put track right in front of you. It works.
In fact, some people make engineering trains which are just full of track and so on and so forth for that purpose. Right, I'm going to split this off up here and make this a little bit of a bypass. There we go. Now, anyone who's played Transportation Tycoon will be very familiar with all of the stuff that we're doing here. There we go. Bring that down. Cut this off. If you haven't played Transportation Tycoon and you enjoy trains, then you're welcome for me putting you onto that game. It's going to change your world.
Chris Sawyer makes some good games, man.
Oh, yes. There we go. Right. Now, there we are. A little bypass is ready. And once again, we will make the exit point on this. There we go. So we want the... Oh, I've got a ferret climbing up my leg. Hello, Siri. What are you doing? You come to see the trains as well? Mwah. Sorry. I'm working. Gotta go and play on the floor. Right, so... We've got the... Ah, I'm being chased. That is unfortunate.
There's some lasers down here.
Good. I can kind of outrun them a bit.
Straight
every
down,
time that
straight down.
big one smacks me, it hurts a lot.
You're running the wrong way, but whatever. There's lasers all over.
No, I'm not in yet. Aha! Ah, I'm safe. I just needed guns. Now, if you're wondering why I just ran instead of turning around and fighting, it's because there were blue biters there. I did not have the weaponry to take out a blue biter.
Sure you did.
It wasn't going to happen. I was just going to die.
Yeah, they're pretty heavily armored.
Yeah. I need much more powerful weapons for that.
I think three bypass areas should be fine for the amount of trains we're going to have.
It'll keep everything flowing. So there we are. The chain signal on the out. The regular signal on the in. Chain signal on the out. Okay, perfect. Right, well, we can hook this up then to a new station down here. Where are we going to have this station, Shen?
I think we're just going to reuse our old base here. We had, what was this? Stoneton. And it ran out of stone.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to repurpose
Stoneton
it for
without
some
stone
iron.
is
I know,
scarcely a
it's
stone ton
sad.
at all. Okay, we'll set that up. How much room do we have down here? I notice you've only got 2 loading bays. We may need to tailor this, make it slightly better.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, we can change this wall now because there's no way that we're going to take away that entire track just to replace it. Let's just move all of this instead. There we go. There we are. And then we can build this up as necessary. Actually, that is in the wrong place. There we go. Perfect. Now, we will need a double entrance point. We'll need a... Oops.
2 platform place, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry, no, two signals. Sorry about that. My ferret was knocking my controller off my desk. She's in one of those moods at the moment. She's like, give me attention, damn it. Do you not know that you're here to entertain me, human?
So again, the direct signal, just called rail signal, is for the station itself. And then the chain signal is for the track leaving the station, heading to our first loop area.
Exactly.
I'll go ahead and put that station down here.
Okay. I will place down some walls. Siri. She's in one of those moods, I'm afraid, everyone. You have to put up with me. Complaining. Kind of. Mostly not complaining. I'm actually highly amused.
Do you have those, what are they called? The walls that move?
Yeah, gates. Shane.
Gates.
The walls that move. This is future tech right here.
Oh, goodness. I think
future walls.
We're going to move the signals a little bit because the train's going to be a little longer than that. It's going to have 2 engines and 2 cargo cars.
What I don't have is steel. Do you happen to have any steel on you?
I have 35 steel. How much would you like?
Ooh. Could I have 2?
Oh, apparently I gave you half both times. Whatever, good enough.
Sure. That'll do. That will do, Shen. Thank you. Right, there we go. So we've got our gate there, our wall. I'm going to move this power pole over just a tad so that we've got... I'm going to have to rejig something down here, but that'll do for now, just so that we can seal that off.
I'm going to put a train down so we can see our spacing here. Should be good.
Okay. Right. Okay, I'm going to need to get over here and just move this power around a little tiny bit.
Oh, I apparently spelled
there
awesome sauce wrong. Either you or I did, because one of those stations over there is spelled awesome sauce.
It could easily have been me. I do apologize if it was. Right. Now, unfortunately, Shen is loading the train with... I'm not sure. Maybe loading it with ore? No. Well, actually, yeah, that train is loaded with all kinds of rubbish. All right, I'm going to head up and I'm going to rename the trains, the stations, rather. Shen, if you can prepare that station for a train that is about double the length of that.
Yeah.
And I will quickly go and set things up in the top city. And our plan for the lower iron station is to basically have a little loop track down there. Again, this is an example of something you don't need to do. We're doing it because we feel like doing it, because it'll be cool to set it up. I noticed that all of our resources are actually completely backed up, and that's largely because we're not doing any research.
What would you like to research?
I think maybe we should start looking at flight and robotics myself.
Flight and robotics. Sure. I'm down for that. It's either that or power armor. They're both really nice.
Yeah, I think we'll go for robotics because it's going to massively improve the setup for our construction once we've got blueprints. Okay. Or Sion Soul City. Let's change that one.
Is that the one I just put down?
No, I think it was the one that I renamed. I do apologize. There we go.
You heard it here, folks. Aavak is the worst.
I know. Scum of the earth. There we go. So we've got 2 stations called Awesome Source City, and now any trains coming in here, we'll just pick whichever station is available for them. Now, on my way down, do I have lasers? I do have lasers. That is good. Right, we're going to be able to set up a little bit more in the southern base, though I'm noticing that fuel box are coming few and far between. My lord, what is going on here? Why do we not have any fuel blocks?
I think you spotted that we ran out of a light fuel.
Yes, it does appear that we have.
Okay, so they're both... Okay, now one has a P in the name. You just called it awesome sauce.
Ah, damn it. I will fix. Give me a break.
I'm trying to copy and paste the other one, right?
Can you?
I don't know.
It may actually be something you can do, yes. I will find out in a moment. But first, I need to fix... There we go. Right, light oil is being pumped. Phew.
Hooray.
Sorry, the lack of fuel blocks was a little bit of a concern.
I think we had some stuff turned off because we were filling up on one type of oil and we had to take a break and turn off the cracking for it. But now I think everything's turned back on.
Okay, now, next chance. Yes, I totally misspelled.
It's okay. It's fine.
I almost said Citri as well. But I think I've got it this time.
It is. Now there's only one. And they both have the same name. Perfect.
Goodness. How embarrassing. Twice I spelled the word wrong.
I've added it to the thing. I'm going to ride the train back. Are you good to go? You think it's good to go?
I think so. Well, we'll find out. You'll either die in a fireball or it's good to go.
We'll need to move the walls down here to fit this bigger train. But we'll do that in just a little bit. Let's see if the train actually works here. It's 30 seconds, right? Default time?
Yeah. We've currently got a train in the station, which is awesome because that'll allow us to test this train coming up.
I'll let you know when I start. No, it hasn't moved yet. Now we're moving.
Okay. Okay, I can see you on the map.
I'm watching all the signals change. This is nice to watch,
Shenryyr
actually.
along.
I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love trains. I love games that have trains in them. I love riding trains in real life. They're just fantastic.
There we go. Here he comes.
And yeah, the train stopped
thankfully,
for
the
me.
trains did
Yeah.
not smack each
The
other.
signal actually stopped that train from going. It was great.
There we are. You
So-
notice this block signal is currently saying there's nothing to go through. It now is. Both of these are saying, yeah, you can go. It's fine. There is a way out.
Yeah, when it's blue like that, it doesn't mean that there's only one way out. It means there's multiple choices and one of them is valid. That's what the blue means.
Right, okay. So, next, I think we're actually getting to a point where we're more or less satisfied with this. We just need to do a little bit of a tweak in the southern base. Quickly, get on, Shen!
That's
You suck.
I hit enter.
Okay. I'm going to get to see all of these signals changing now. It's going to be very fun. It's a good day.
I'll take the
Good
long
day to
way.
be on a train, driving through a hostile alien environment.
Oh, you know what? I'm just going to set up another train. I mean, we made it for multiple trains.
That is true, but this station does not have room for multiple trains.
Yeah, but it has a loop, though.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yes, it does. That's the whole point of what we did. Right. However, I'm going to stop this train for now so that we can prepare this station. We're going to do that off camera, though, and when we return, we'll actually start on the loop system, the loop rail, that's going to feed this train. Because ideally, what we would like to happen is these 3 iron outposts to all have a single looped train. It's not going to be like the trains we've made up to now, which are double-headed. They can move forwards and backwards, kind of like a diesel locomotive. Your typical kind of intercity diesel trains. What we'll have is a single train that just moves round a loop, visiting all 3 iron mines, and then depositing all of that iron here for this train to pick up, and then take up to Awesome Source City. It should be pretty fun. And Shen is on his new little train. Enjoy, Shen.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.